Okay. Okay, this morning as we've come together, we're going to be sharing concerning fivefold ministry, the minister's handbook. We'll be continuing where we left off last week, dealing with the 7 steps to fulfilling the call. 7 steps to fulfilling the call. I'll give you an overview of the scriptures that we'll be discussing, but first I'd like to give you the outline in what we're sharing. 7 steps are as follows. Answering the call, and that's found in Genesis chapter 12, verse 1 through 3, and verse 4. And then the second to that would be preparation. That's found in Genesis chapter 12, verses 14 through 20. The third, separation. That's found in Genesis chapter 13, verses 1 through 4. The fourth one is designation. That's found in Genesis 13, 14 through verse 18. The fifth is purpose, and it's found in Genesis 15, verses 1 through 6. The sixth one is fulfilling the call, Genesis 17, verses 1 through 7, with Genesis 22, verses 1 through 14. Seventh and last is the rewarding of the call. That's found in Genesis chapter 22, verses 15 through 19. This morning, as we come back together in sharing concerning this teaching, we're still in answering the call, and that's number 1, answering the call. We shared in the last meetings the importance of understanding that when one is called, it does not mean that you're equipped or you're anointed or appointed for service. And that's important because you must realize that each and every one of us, and when we answer that call, that simply means that we recognize that God is calling us, and we want to be willing to do His bidding. However, comma means that we need to stop for a moment and think about it. And as we do think about it, are we equipped? Are we ready to serve? What is it that we might need to do? I've chosen Abraham, patriarch Abraham, to be our lesson study because there's many things that we see concerning Abraham in him answering his call to service. It is ironic that as we look around today, we see and recognize that Abraham still has an effect on each and every one of us. All through the New Testament, we see scriptures concerning Abraham. And even to the point where it says Abraham became a friend of God. It's important for us to recognize again that as we become friends of God, and when we become friends of God, that takes us back to what we've learned over in the book of John, the 15th chapter. And in there we see He tells us that we're no longer servants. For a servant doesn't know what his master does. But the Master has taken the time to instruct and impart revelation to us so that we can be of service. And by that, and by the quality decision of those that have accepted His call and accepted His instruction, thereby they are equipped to go forth and to perform the work of the ministry. Something that we need to recognize also is Abraham being a friend of God did not mean that he was not a servant to man. And that's important because we need to realize that we are our brother's keepers. We have a responsibility one to another. not only in instruction, but also in support, and also to, when needed, rebuke. When we're out of order, someone needs to step up and say, "Sir, ma'am, you're out of order." And there needs to be direction. A friend can do that. And we realize that we're truly a friend. A friend will go beyond normal means to make sure that a friend stays above water, so to speak. Now we need to recognize again that Abram was tested through many circumstances and situations that actually proved his answering that call. And that's what we're going to be sharing with you today. There's some things that are going to be taking place here in this 12th chapter of Genesis that will reveal some truths to us that I believe will be transforming. And in that transformation, I believe that each and every one of us can grow and mature and become that perfect man, perfect woman of Christ. Because we'll be thoroughly equipped through the things that we see through the Word. It's not merely that I'm speaking them or others speak them, but it's what God says that will make the difference. It's God's Word that will transform us. It's God's Word that will equip us. It's God's Word that will anoint us, and it's God's Word that will appoint us. We shared in the last meeting that we were discussing several different things, and one of the things that we shared, there's many that went, yet they were not sent. We need to recognize today in ministry, we see so many men and women that stand behind our pulpits. When I say our pulpits, what I mean is the church. Standing behind these pulpits in the church and call themselves God's man and woman. And yet the things that they do are very self-serving and self-centered. When we see that, we can recognize that this truly is not God-appointed, but possibly man-appointed or even self-appointed. We do lessons and training concerning 3 types of leadership. If we would only take the time to recognize there is a self-appointed, that means that I decide I want a vocation of being a pastor because I know that job, or I assume that job would be easy. So I want to take on that job. I don't want to be physical out there in the world and sweat. So I'm going to have me an office job. I'm going to go to seminary or go to a Bible school. Now I'm not even going to do that. I'm just going to say I'm called of God and go start a ministry. We see that. We see plenty of that out there today. And that is the self-appointed. It just simply means that that person decided within themselves they want to be a pastor or whatever title they want to place on them, because it's an erroneous understanding of truly what a servant of God is. A servant of God is one who serves. Now, the second one would be the man appointed. We see a lot of this out there today. There's men and women that have the credentials, they have the academia, they have the studies, they have the information, but they're not equipped for the task. When I say not equipped for the task, what I mean is God's not appointed nor anointed them for that service. They may have all the information, but they don't have any power. And we see that out there today. Just because they may even, at this point, even have a mega ministry, does that make them God's man or woman? Not necessarily. So just because you have a great following does not mean you're anointed